welcome back to Hashtag Trending. I'm Farbs, and here are the hashtags we will be looking at on today's show. We will also have Ali Reza with us in the studio for viral photos. So without any more delay, let's get started. Africa, the continent, has been misunderstood and exploited for quite some time by the Western explorers, the United States being one of the more recent ones. Although Americans supposedly are working on a plan to reduce their military footprint in Africa, AFRICOM, FYI, their combatant command for the continent, it doesn't seem to have quite convinced Africans of their brotherly intentions. So much so that this guy with absolutely no musical talent has gone out of his way to produce this musical piece. Take it away, superstar! You see, Washington, that was what Africans really want. For the armed forces to remain in the barracks and out of the continent. All right, let's check out social media's reaction to the story of AFRICOM finally trying to withdraw its forces. Netfa Freeman wrote, "The support compadres in Africa get from AFRICOM is certainly conditional." Check out this cool piece.
Gentlemen, it has been a pleasure and an honor to meet you and your people. The U.S. government supports you in every possible way, ideologically, of course. However, we cannot offer any military aid at this time.
With all due respect, Ambassador, we need more than that.
We are dealing with terrorism on a daily basis.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Warlords overrun villages.
Yes, that's regrettable.
Rapes, tortures, all manner of human atrocities.
That's really sad. But the U.S. military is simply spread too thin. We can't afford another intervention at this time.
But what we could use your help with, really, is protecting our vulnerable, plentiful, and newly discovered oil reserves.
Oil? Excuse me 1 second. Operation Golden Eagle is a go. Welcome to democracy.
We also have natural gases.
Oh, yes, lots of it.
Funny, right? All right, let's move to the next one. Chris wrote, "We're not free till Africa is free. It's an international struggle. We demand the complete withdrawal of U.S. forces from Africa, the demilitarization of the African continent, and the closure of U.S. bases throughout the world." You see, this is also what Africans want. And finally here, we in the U.S. need to be worrying about how the government to which we pay taxes enact new colonial violence on the continent of Africa. It has for the longest, but its newest iteration, AFRICOM? Pan-African solidarity is needed now more than ever. The tragic death of an indigenous mother of 7 in a hospital in Quebec has brought into spotlight the systemic racism in the Canadian healthcare system. The unfortunate woman streamed online her final moments on Facebook while being insulted and mocked by the medical staff.
Ben, t'as fait des mauvais choix, Madeleine. Ouais. Qu'est-ce qu'ils penseraient, tes enfants, de te voir comme ça? Ouais. Pense à eux autres un peu.
unfortunately, the tragedy of this woman was not an isolated incident. As you will hear in a moment, her husband says that this was only a part of a pattern of racism. Let's check this out.
Ma femme est rentrée à l'hôpital samedi pour un mal de ventre. 2 jours plus tard, elle est morte. On voit qu'elle demande de l'aide sur Facebook et que le personnel est dégradant. J'ai 7 enfants qui se retrouvent sans mère. J'espère que l'enquête montrera les responsables. Après, la commission vient. On voit que les choses ne bougent pas pour nous autres. Mais qu'est-ce qu'on entend? D'autres personnes, d'autres victimes?
I have nothing to say. Let's move on. Welcome to Quebec, where racism and xenophobia are a way of life, and yet the Premier denies it exists. And finally, systemic racism and standard behavior. This should be Canada's George Floyd moment. We should be rioting in the streets. This is not a case of one bad nurse. This is an entire system that tolerates and promotes neglect and abuse of Aboriginal people. It must be stopped. All right, it's time to bring out Ali Reza for the viral photo section.
Hi there, Ali Reza here with a new batch of viral photos, this time about the US presidential race. Now, if you like reality TV and don't mind a story that is a bit too outlandish, make sure to follow the presidential debates. In the meantime, here are the viral photos that I found during this week.
Well, it's part of the show that we show you examples of unnecessary use of force by the security forces. And this week, we go to Chile. Yeah, you heard me right, Chile. A 16-year-old student protester was pushed off of a bridge by the security forces there. Chileans are extremely angry, and quite rightfully so, about the whole incident. And they have vented their anger on the streets and on social media, as you can see. We start with the 1&1. Hundreds of protesters have reoccupied the Plaza de la Dignidad in Santiago after nearly 195 days. Here's the video. Just for information, these student protests have been going on for quite some time now. And this one, Hasnat wrote, security forces cracked on protesters in Santiago using tear gas and water cannon. Looks like Chile needs some American democracy. Well, that's it. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope that you liked what you saw. And if you did, give us a follow here and here, and don't forget to check us out next week, same time, same frequency, and same everything. Bye-bye.